Hello, everyone. Am I audible and pretty loud? Hello, Ankita, Shruti, Anu, Arya. Am I audible to everyone? Yeah, I think I'm audible so that I have received a couple of reply. Okay, great. Fine. Okay. So, hello everyone. I welcome you all to our live webinar entitled Empowering Youth Through Skill Development. We have organized this live webinar on the occasion of National Youth Day, which mark the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda ji. He once said that all power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Now, he has inspired and ignited millions of young minds, and I believe that youth should follow his principle and ideas. If you ask me, I am too a staunch believer of his ideology. ऐसे महान मार्गदर्शक को मेरा नमन है आज के दिन और उन्होंने एक बार कहा था कि उठो जागो और तब तक मत रुको जब तक लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति ना हो जाए दैट वी कॉल इन आवर लैंग्वेज पैशन isn't it so yes now yes I think everyone has joined so again I would like to extend my heartiest welcome to everyone. Now we have two more guests with us for this webinar. So I would like to welcome both of them, would love and would request both of them to be with us. Yes. So as the discussion proceeds, I would like to extend my heartiest welcome to Mr. Daniel Gergix, communication expert and soft skill trainer, who has been awarded as the best international speakers of 2019 at Professional Speakers Academy, London. Welcome, Daniel, for the webinar.
Thank you very
Our
much.
learners are going to learn many things from you. Now, I would like to extend my heartiest and heartfelt greetings and welcome to Mrs. Rima Virdi, a personality development coach and corporate expert. She is the director of Drive 13 and she is also the founder of Sangini Shopping Club. She has started her new venture which is known as Riveda, in which she is trying to promote Ayurveda outside India. Now, I must say that what an incredible initiative, Rima.
Thank you.
Then as a woman, Rima loves and celebrates her womanhood, and she believes in empowering other women, and that is why she has laid the foundation of Sangini Shopping Club, in which the women of our community are getting opportunity to earn their livelihood. She is also working as the vice president of Lyconet. We are going to know more about her as the session proceeds.
Thank you.
Now, as we get ahead, welcome Rima to the session. And yes, it will be an enlightening session, as I'm sure. So now I'm just getting ahead with the session. And while we proceed with the session, I and Rima will be bilingual. And Daniel too can if he wishes to do so. So, yeah. Um, Now I would like to brief 21st century skills, what we call, because the entire webinar is based on the 21st century skills. So how can we know more about it? The term 21st century skills actually refers to a broad set of skills, knowledge, work habits, and character traits which are essential for an individual to survive and thrive in a complex and connected world. The term encompasses a wide ranging skills such as interdisciplinary skills, non cognitive skills, soft skills, so on and so forth. Now, I believe that we are living in the time when information and knowledge are increasing at such an astronomical rate that no one can learn everything about every subject. And this is the main motive of 21st century skills, which is based that the education of the learner should be prioritized based on skills so that they could learn more about it, they could be more adaptable with the skills of 21st century. Now, moving ahead, I would turn to Daniel and I would like to ask him that what is the relevance of 21st century skills globally? Could you please throw light on this aspect?
Yes, hi, and thank you very much for the invitation, first of all. And it's a pleasure to see that many of you joining this webinar tonight. Yes, basically, I will be here to talk about communication. And I think that today's world, this century, is especially growing so fast that we are just blinking once and something else happens. And the nowadays generation, the youngsters, they've got the power, they've got the skills, they've got the right mentality, especially when they work on that, to be better, be bigger, and grow bigger. Because if we compare our mindset, our thoughts to our parents, to our grandparents' education, that's completely different. Maybe at certain levels, education is the same, but due to the fact that online presence nowadays is really massively around us, we just can't avoid it. That really makes things faster. So that's why I would believe and I would say that it's really critical to improve our skills and find those skills nowadays which will be essential moving forward.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Daniel. Yes, you have said so right. That very true about 21st century skills. Because see, the real motive behind this webinar is to make our learners, to make our audience globally active, so that they could understand the real importance of effective communication. Because communication skills doesn't mean only to share our thoughts or information to one another. Okay, now I would turn to Rima and would love to know more about her journey, about her career, and she could share some career tips with our audience because I believe that only communication skills are not going to help. They need to learn more about it. Other than communication, also there are something that is very relevant for them to know.
Um, yeah, thank you, Preeti. Thank you so much. And I would welcome everyone again who are listening to us. Yes, I did have a journey to share with because I was born in India, then I came to UK, then I got a chance to go back to India and work there. So it was a completely different experience. For me. And I would say Daniel and I share a same journey almost because Daniel was an important part of my work experience as well. So yeah, it is very very important. First of all, I would say to the youth as well that it's if you believe in something, it will happen, but you need to make it work. So I came to UK with a mindset that I did a fashion designing in India, very simple girl born in a very little small village of India. And I got married and I came to UK. And here I didn't know what to do. So, like today's youth, we don't know what to choose, what to do, how to make a career. When I came to English, it was completely new my language. I knew English, but not as fluent, obviously, as I'm speaking today. And I didn't know what to do. So I explored. I believed in myself. I knew I wanted to do something. I want to be independent. I explored. You will not believe I started with a job of 3 hours working in a retail shop in London. So from there, I got the job in the bank, and then I got the opportunity to work with an international company, people like Daniel who are so experienced, Austrian company, and then they gave me a job offer to work in India because I'm a obviously native of India to develop the business in India, and with Daniel's reference again, I was heading the country, and that was my
Great.
dream. To, so I was a corporate trainer. In India, I was training, I would say, hundreds of people in India, across the country, India, North India, everywhere I traveled. That was actually my dream job that I had, when I got to know so many people. So in England, I got to know people in the West, but in India, I got to know a lot of different, states of India as well and worked over there. So yeah, there will be career tips that you need to know what you want to pursue and focus on that. That is very, very important. That unless you decide that this is your focus line and that's what you do, obviously you will not go anywhere. So, I worked in a bank and worked for a corporate job. And now my vision is very clear what I want to do ahead in my life. So that is very
Great.
important.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rima. Yes, you have shared some career tips to the audience, and they have learned a lot from you, and they are about to set and start off their career journey. So it is going to be very, very instrumental for them. So now I'm just going to make a presentation, and in that this presentation, I will let them know how we can categorize and classify the 21st century skills in 3 years: learning skills, life skills, and literacy skills. And then I would be expecting some expert answers from Daniel. So now I'm going to share my screen for everyone. So I'm going to map out 21st century skills for 21st century needs, because our focus is primarily on 21st century skills. Since it is the need for the 21st century, so we are calling it 21st century skills. Moving ahead, I would like to quote Dr. Tony Wegener, an author and an expert of education and a specialist in that field, that he has given 7 survival skills for careers, college, and citizenship. And he hammered home that nowadays, all the major companies, what they are looking for. So they are basically looking for an employee who is mastered with 21st century skills, because it will be worth mentioning that Dr. Tony has interviewed more than 100 business leaders, and then he hammered home that now the companies are looking for a person who can engage people in good discussion, and who can take good decision and solve a problem. So it is something that we categorize in 21st century skills. So the first three 21st century skills, along with that, since he was talking about 7 survival skills, the first one is critical thinking and problem solving. The second is collaboration across networks and leading by influence, agility and adaptability. So these are the first three of the 7 survival skills that he talked about. Then he also listed out initiative and entrepreneurial, effective oral and written communication, accessing and analyzing information, curiosity and imagination. So along with these skills, he said that if one want to survive and thrive in a complex world, in the global world, one need to master these 7 survival skills, which is later on classified further as 21st century skills, because here also we will study it in terms of effective oral or written communication, but there are other categories of 4 C's and the life skills. So now I'll proceed. If we look at the entire structure of 21st century learning, we see that it has gone beyond the frontiers, beyond the boundaries of core subjects. Because now all the skills, including life skills and soft skills, are added into 21st century learning structure. And I'm really thankful for new education policy of our country, which is very flexible and which has included the 21st century learning skills, when the learners will learn while doing themselves. So it is indeed a great step of our government. Moving ahead, if we see the classification of the entire 21st century skills, it is classified into learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills that we know as three L's. And then further, learning skills are categorized at four C's, IMTs, and flips. Flips is known as the life skills. We will get to know more about it as the slide proceeds. And IMT deals with the information and media literacy skills. So, yes, if you want to get ahead in your life, you want to get success in life, we need to master all the 21st century skills. And that is the real aim behind the webinar so that you could learn and understand it in the practical way. Uh, let us proceed with the next slide. Now, what are the four C's? So the four C's are communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. So these are said to be the 21st century skills, and the four C's. Let's call it the learning skills. So as we know that communication has gone beyond the sharing of thoughts and question or ideas, it's more than that because the emotion and the intention of the sender is equally important in order to perceive and understand the message effectively, that we call effective communication. If we talk about collaboration, it's something that we work together, that is called smart work, and it is something that we call leadership. So collaboration deals with that. Critical thinking is something that your brain is the receptacle of ideas and thought, and you can get a result out of that. But if you don't involve in the thought process, then you will not get results. So you have to be very active in the global world. You are not supposed to be a passive employee. Then creativity. Creativity is something that you can create you can generate an output with your critical perspective and ideas. So it is something that also relatable with the mindset. So these are said to be the four C's. Now, coming to the literacy skills. So, literacy skills actually, these three are classified into information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. When we come to the information literacy, it's something that if you have the ability to understand the credibility of the information via the internet resources, that is something we call information literacy. How many of you are, uh, you know, skilled with that because we easily rely on those stuffs that is presented to us through internet. Then media literacy is something that you have the ability to understand the means of communication, like the print media, the electronic media, so on and so forth. Then technology literacy is something then we call it deals with the equipments and technological advancement that if for instance if for this webinar nowadays we are stuck in this pandemic and instead of seminars we are conducting the webinars, and what we are using for the webinars, we are using the audio visual aids, we are using the smartphone laptops, we are using the software tools and other things. So that is something we call technology literacy. So all these three skills are also one of the part of the major 21st century skills. Uh, then nobody knew that what we call life skills today before 1996. In 1996, World Health Organization (WHO) brought out 10 essential life skill, the set of life skill, because they think that it is the human being, the individual who is the center of the entire nation, community, or world. So we are the one who are responsible for each action for ourselves and for the community and nation. So life skills are very essential that we also call 21st century skills. So these are something that I have to present before you. And I'm just going to stop my sharing and I'll turn to Daniel to ask some relevant question based on the presentation. So now I would like to ask a question to you, Daniel, for my audience who are watching you, who are who are waiting for you to listen. That can we call the four C's as career skills? What is your opinion?
I do believe, but while watching your or looking at your presentation, um, what came into my mind that this is all great and all important, and each and every skill is very important to have. But most of the people always think that, oh my God, I will never have this. I will never have all of them. I have to have all of them in order to succeed? And my answer is no. You can have these skills, you can gain all these skills, but as long as the basic steps are not ready, because we go to learn, to study, to high school, to university, we always try to develop ourselves because we always believe by learning we are growing. But most of the times, the basic foundation of our mindset is not there. So you can put and you can build on a muddy thing something, but at the end of the day, the foundation will always be muddy. So coming back, my view and my experience of all this from the last 15 years, that as long as the basic communication with ourselves to begin with is not done, is not ready, you can have any skills you want, but you will never make enough use of it, if you know what I mean. So I do believe that from a career point of view, all these four C's are very, very important. You can learn them, you can practice them, you can be very good at them. But in terms of honesty, in terms of authenticity, it's not coming from here, it will be coming from here. And if we want to achieve great success in our lives, in any fields of our lives, not only talking about career, talking about relationships, about family, about friendship, whatsoever, as long as you cannot achieve having all these skills coming from here, you will never be able to step forward or move forward. And this is the moment where people believe after a while that I'm stuck. I feel that I reached a certain level, but I'm here for years and I don't know what to do in order to move forward. And the reason and the roots behind this is always in the past.
Great, so insightful. Whatever you said, completely, I agree with the same. Now, moving ahead with the next question, I would like to ask you that how far will it be relevant to call critical thinking as a major 21st century skill? How thinking can be a major skill?
So, as I said in the very beginning, that the mindset, the way we look at the world, the way we look at things, now we look at things by experience. The way we experience the world in our childhood, with our family, with our friends, depending on what kind of circle of people we are in. This is what defines the world for us. And in order to be more open, and in order to experience better things or critical thinking, then we have to peel it down, like an onion, just getting the peels off it and see what's inside. But most of the people cannot see what's inside because they can't believe that there is something inside. They cannot imagine that there is an inside. So the way I teach my students to look at things, look for something that you don't know. What you don't know that you don't know. And this is the harder thing. If we think about our own mind, there are things we know that we know, things we know we don't know, things we don't know that we know. And the key point is, which is the biggest part of our brain, things we don't know that we don't know. And if we are, it's very hard, it's tough thinking about something that you don't know,
Yeah.
But if you are just open for it, open for the new things, open for people. For example, in terms of communication, when basic example from the family, when your mother opens her mouth, you know what she will say, won't you? You know how she will say it, don't you? Forget about it. Create a new communication within yourself. Make it clear inside of you and expect her to speak differently. and you will hear different things. You will hear things that you never heard before, and your mother will not change. You changed your communication, and that helps you to create a better relationship. So that's why I do believe, and that's what I'm kind of living for, to convince people and make people believe that the basic of everything is communication. If you have nothing left, if the world falls apart around you, you have one thing, and that's your word.
Great and very true, because experience is the real teacher, and it is the mindset which is the most important aspect for an individual. Very true, Daniel. Now, getting ahead with my next question. See, as there are a number of barriers for language, like semantic barriers, psychological barriers, emotional barriers. Now, my question is that how to overcome those barriers for effective communication, because communication doesn't mean effective communication, and it is the effective communication which is required globally. So what will you suggest for that, how to overcome those language barriers?
First of all, our goal is to express ourselves, to be able to express ourselves. I've been working with lots of foreigners whose native language is not English, but they lived in England, so they had to use the language. I've been working with lots of Indian people as well in the last 10 years, and their first language wasn't English. But if you want to achieve something, you have to be able to express yourself. And you just have to start thinking, if I don't do this, what will happen? Nothing. If I do this, there are two ways. Either it happens or it doesn't happen. Which one would you choose? And I know what you are talking about, and I know it sounds very easy the way I say it. So it's easy to say that, okay, let's talk and talking about all our circumstances, whatever. But I'm going back to the past again. People have barriers, everyone. We always believe that we are the only ones who have barriers because most of the people are covering this up and they pretend that they didn't have any barriers. But believe me, that's a fact. Each and every one has some barriers. And the reason why someone behaves differently, the reason someone wants to be in the center of everything, the reason someone is too loud, because they are compensating something, and that's their survival strategy. So create your own survival strategy in order to improve. And that's not a bad thing, because these people are hiding something. But probably we will talk about how not to hide something a bit later, because that's very critical as well and very important in terms of communication. But for example, I know lots of people who know English language, but they are not brave enough to speak. And I know lots of people who are brave enough to speak, but they don't know the language that well. So who is the winner
Yeah.
here? Who is the winner? The one who is using it, and not the one who
Yeah.
knows it. And that's why I said to you earlier about the skills. It's not about learning the skills, it's about practicing the skills. Because while
Great. Yeah.
practicing the skills, you will be automatically learning. And those people who are just keep learning, they will be always learning. And they will always say, oh, I'm still not perfect. I still need to improve, 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 improve. And once we will die, now what was this improvement for? If you never practiced.
Yeah, very true. Rightly said, and it was quite practical ideas and thoughts that you are sharing to our audience. And I have gone through a couple of responses as well. That Mokim is saying that I'm on the same wavelength as Daniel. It's too important to know what you don't know. So he agrees to what you said, and even you are getting benefited out of it. So really, it was a great discourse that you are making. So now, getting ahead, would like to ask that since you have your accomplishments globally, so I would love to know that in order to become globally active, which is the most essential 21st century skills? Four C's. IMTs or flips or life skills, like let's say. So what is the most essential if you have to, if you are given a chance to give a privilege to any one of the skills, which you are going to give the privilege the
Probably the four.
most?
Probably to begin with were the four C's. Because first of all, communication, as I said earlier, is the basic of everything. Then collaboration, because you have to admit that you can never achieve anything on your own. In
Mhm.
in today's world, you have to collaborate. You have to work together with people. You have to find the like-minded people, those people who think the same way, with whom you share your goals, your journey. Um, and this is again something coming from the past, when our parents or other societies, maybe it's different in India, but in Europe, it's definitely like that. People wanted to do things on their own, and they could have come to a certain level, and then they started to stuck at that level. Um, and in the last 10, 15 years, maybe, people realized that by having many other people around us, we can achieve bigger things together, and we can become much stronger together. We can count on each other. And the hard thing is how to find those people. That's always the hardest. How to lay down the rules, how to lay down the common goals, and how to collaborate, basically. And then again, as you already mentioned, the critical thinking, because you have to think outside the box. Without thinking outside the box, you will never achieve anything outstanding. And we are, each and every one of you watching us today, are outstanding. You are all outstanding. You just have to believe it. There is nothing special in those people who made special things in the world. They were not lucky. They just believed that
Yeah.
they can reach and achieve something. And obviously, being creative is important. And if you are not creative, find something in your team who is. So it's outside the box. I'm not like that. I can't do that. These are not my skills. Then find something you can share your skills with. So maybe I would
Great,
say maybe
splendid.
most important. Yeah.
Insightful indeed. Now, I would request and I would ask my audience that if they can ask something, any expert answer from Daniel, because they are getting an opportunity to interact with native speakers of English. So it is really a great opportunity for them. So if you have any question, please give us the question in the comment section in the chat panel, and I will be reading the question aloud. We'll be sharing the same with Daniel. So, do you have any question that you would like to ask from Daniel, because he has somehow managed his tight schedule to be with us? So, do you have any question? If you have any question, feel free to ask.
In the meantime, until they put the questions down, if you may allow me to say a few things or a few other words as well about communication, which I find very, very crucial and very important. First of all, and you may want to write it down, always communicate. Always be in communication. In order to grow, in order to develop yourself, you have to be in communication. I'm doing one-to-one coaching sessions for different type of people. And yesterday I had one coaching session when the young guy, he's 21, he said to me after having 2 months working together with me that I realized that when I'm in communication, power is in my hand. And this is what you
Yes.
can learn by developing yourself and developing the communication. And if you have any bad relationship with someone, if you have any fight with someone, or you don't have the fight because you don't say that you've got a problem, you always have to be open, and you always have to find out what the other person really thinks. You have to share from here. And you know who will be the winner in the 21st century? The winner of the communication, those who can communicate by emotion. emotional communication is the most important. So if you are not communicating by knowledge, but by heart, you will be winning. Because then people will realize, maybe unconsciously, that that person is a bit different. Something is different with him, with her. And people will connect with you more if you are emotional in your communication. I'm not saying that you have to cry while communicating, but you have to talk by heart and you have to share your feelings, because vulnerability is something that we are avoiding in our lives. But being vulnerable makes you strong and makes you powerful. And this is something that people don't believe at the first time we say this. But when you practice it, when you show your vulnerable self, then you realize how more powerful you have become.
Yeah, very true. Now, I have received a couple of questions from the audience, Daniel. If you would give me or you would allow me, I would like to read it aloud. So, may I read the questions?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, one question that Ruchi has, given me in the comment section that, sir, how can we improve public speaking? She's asking that how to improve the public speaking skills.
Okay, so
Can you add few more values? Yeah.
yes, public speaking is my favorite topic, to be honest. So I could talk for days about this, because this is what I learned and what I practiced. I spoke in front of 18,000 people a couple of years ago. I spoke in India in front of 1,000 people a couple of years ago in Delhi, and then in Bangalore as well. So that's a journey. That's a journey which really starts with you, because the key element of public speaking is being yourself on stage, and don't play a role, which is very hard, because everyone plays a role in their entire lives with different people, in different situations, different circumstances. But the best public speaker is the person who can behave in an authentic way on stage, who is happy to share himself, herself from stage, the way he is, the way she is. And obviously, there are lots of tips and tricks how to get there, how to influence the audience, how to communicate with the audience. When you have 1,000 people in a room, how to make people feel that you talk to each and one of them, each and every one of them. How to make them feel that they feel that, oh, he's talking to me. And once you had this breakthrough, then you can reach and you can achieve really anything and everything with the audience, and you can guide them properly. And yes, so this is the short answer for your question, but you have to put the work, you have to put the energy in, and you have to practice a lot to get there, and you have to learn the tricks, because public speaking is not about going up the stage and speak. It's a strategy.
Yes.
You have to use the stage as you would use it in a theater. You have to kind of become an actor who uses this space.
One question relates with that, whatever you have said, that how to become a personality like you. Niloufar has asked that how to become a personality like you.
What is my personality?
Definitely, they have got impressed and they have learned from you. I meant to say that I think they are asking in terms of the confidence, that how to be confident like you.
Okay, thank you. Now I got it. That has, I wasn't born like that. Let's start with this. I had lots of ups and downs, lots of problems, lots of failures. I restarted my life several times. And when I had these fallbacks, I always, obviously, I was down, I was trying, I was really depressed sometimes. But after a time and after a point, I had to decide, what do I make out of it? Do I learn, or do I become a failure by this? It's all about a choice, a decision. You make the decision. You have to decide what you choose, and that's here, up here, what you choose. It's not about how you feel. You will feel bad when you are under certain circumstances. you can take responsibility. You can take responsibility for yourself, for your future. And maybe the key word here is responsibility. When you are put into a situation, in any kind of situation, and it wasn't under your influence, you can still take responsibility. You can either say, it happened to me. You know, this is a funny language. It happened to me. So something happened to me. I didn't do anything. This is what we say. Yeah? And whatever you say goes to your unconscious, and you already convince yourself that you are not the one who can be blamed for it. And that's why I say, again, communication and language, how you speak to yourself. It happened to me, meaning it's not my responsibility. But what if? What if you took responsibility? And we go back again to what I said. If you have nothing else, you always have one thing, and that's your word. What you do, what you decide to do, and what you say, it happens. You know, in Hebrew, they say abracadabra. Do you know abracadabra from your childhood? Yeah, in India as well. So when you do magic.
Yeah.
Okay. But most people don't know what abracadabra means in Hebrew. In our childhood, or even today's young generation's childhood, when we say abracadabra, that means something magic will happen. Something unbelievable will happen. And when we were children, we did believe that that magic would happen. We had no doubt that magic would happen. Abracadabra means I create as I speak. So abracadabra is still there in your life today, right now. Say it and it happens. But it's not enough to say it. You have to believe what you say, and you have to act according to that.
Exactly, and what an excellent example you have given within our context, within our social and cultural milieu. So hats off to you that you have make it very relevant and very practical. And though there are a number of questions, but I know you are lacking behind time, so not like to bother you. And again, still, I'm so much thankful for you for your wonderful session, the expert answers that the learners have received along with I, because I have to enjoy it. Was a wonderful session. So thank you so much, Daniel, for being with us, and we hope to meeting you in person by 2023. So thank you so much.
I hope so.
Thank you so
Thank you very much for the
thank you
invitation,
so much.
and thank you very much for being here, listening to me. And I hope you can take something home that will be useful in the future for your life.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. And now I will proceed with Rima. So thank you, Daniel. Good night. So now Rima needs no introduction because I already mentioned about her. और अभी हम लोग थोड़ा सा बाइलिंगुअल हो जाते हैं so that our audience will feel very much connected. तो हम लोग थोड़ा उसको अभी लेकर चलते हैं. So, जैसा कि रीमा के बारे में मैंने बताया कि अभी तक इन्होंने मतलब बहुत सारी विमेन को कैपेबल बनाया है और सबको एम्पावर किया है. इन्होंने अपना एक नया वेंचर स्टार्ट किया है रिवेदा, जिसमें कि ये कोशिश कर रही हैं जो आयुर्वेदा, इट्स अ ब्रॉड कॉन्सेप्ट और इसके बहुत सारे बेनिफिट है एंड स्टिल वी आर इन द पेंडेमिक टाइम. सो आई वांट टू नो मोर अबाउट रिवेदा. रीमा, रिवेदा क्या है और उसके क्या फ्यूचर बेनिफिट्स है हमारे हेल्थ के लिए और हमारे माइंडसेट के लिए. हम अभी आज के टाइम में बहुत ज्यादा एंजाइटी इश्यूज हो रहे हैं, तो आप कैसे उसको हेल्प करेंगे? आपके इनिशिएटिव के बारे में हमें थोड़ा बताइए.
Yeah, thank you, Preeti. I mean, first of all, yes, I'm an entrepreneur, and मुझे मेरे माइंड में हमेशा से, मतलब जब से मैंने बैंक में जॉब छोड़ी है या मैं बैंक में काम करती थी, एक चीज मेरे माइंड में क्लियर थी कि मुझे किसी के लिए काम नहीं करना, मुझे अपना टाइम अपने अकॉर्डिंग सेट करना है. बिकॉज जब आप किसी के लिए काम करते हैं, जब मैं बैंक में काम करती थी तो 9 to 7 मंडे टू सैटरडे आई वाज फॉर दैट. एंड एक इमोशनल चीज मैं शेयर करना चाहती हूँ सबके साथ कि क्यों मेरा विजन इतना स्ट्रांग है और क्यों मैं इतनी सारी चीजें कर रही हूँ. बिकॉज बैंक में जब मैं काम करती थी तो मैं सिर्फ जॉब करती थी। मेरी मदर इंडिया में, उनको ब्रेस्ट कैंसर हुआ, मैं उन तक पहुंच नहीं पाई क्योंकि मुझे छुट्टी नहीं मिली। आई हैड टू चेक विद माई बॉस कि मैं अपनी मदर को देखने जाऊं या नहीं। एंड मेरी ग्रैंड मदर, जिसने मुझे पाल पोस के बड़ा किया था, शी पास्ड अवे, और मैं पहुंच नहीं पाई बिकॉज अगेन मुझे छुट्टी नहीं मिली। जिंदगी में कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि जैसे डैनियल ने बोला, यहां से सोचो। दैट डे आई डिसाइडेड आई विल डू समथिंग व्हेन माय टाइम इज माइन, एंड मुझे किसी से पूछना नहीं है मेरे ही फैमिली मेंबर से मिलने के लिए। तो इसीलिए मेरा माइंडसेट हमेशा एंटरप्रेन्योर का रहा है तब से। उसके बाद से मैंने जॉब नहीं की। तो इसीलिए मैंने हेल्थ का चूज इसलिए किया क्योंकि अभी पैंडेमिक को देखते हुए मैं इंडिया में ही थी जब सेकेंड वेव आई, एंड लॉट ऑफ माय ओन फ्रेंड्स वर इन दैट सिचुएशन वेयर आई वाज फीलिंग हेल्पलेस हाउ टू हेल्प देम। एक इम्यूनिटी वीक होने की वजह से जो जितनी प्रॉब्लम्स हमारे साथ आई हैं, एंड देन अदर थिंग वाज कि सारे बिजनेसेस डाउन थे। अगर मैं बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सोचूं तो ओनली हेल्थ सेक्टर मेड मनी। So
Yes.
that were the two reasons I thought about doing something in London, because इंडिया में आयुर्वेदा मोस्टली सभी जानते ही हैं। यहाँ पर अब इसका क्रेज बढ़ा है। पीपल वांट टू नो अबाउट आयुर्वेदा, बिकॉज यहाँ पर हेल्थ का वही है कि हमें इम्यून होना है, हमें वीगन होना है, या हमें वेजिटेरियन होना चाहिए, या हमें हमारी इम्यून सिस्टम को कैसे स्ट्रॉन्ग करना चाहिए। तो आई फाउंड कि दिस वाज द बेस्ट वे फॉर मी, so that's why I launched my own brand, and yes, I will be extending that to India as well. तो यूके में यहाँ पर जो मेरी वेबसाइट है और जो मेरे फेसबुक और इंस्टाग्राम के पोस्ट होंगे, वो सिर्फ प्रोडक्ट सेलिंग के लिए नहीं होंगे। I will be talking about Ayurveda. I will be talking about health tips. I will be talking about, how to improve yourself. But at the same time, I want to be financially free. So this is a business
Exactly.
which can give me, we say health as well. तो उस टैग को लेते हुए हेल्थ इज वेल्थ रियली में I'll be improving health and making money as well. So that's why I choose Rigveda, and I would love to extend it to anybody who would love to work with me. उनको personal trainings, sales में, marketing में, how to sell the product, how to be an entrepreneur. तो उनको सिर्फ जो मेरे साथ जुड़ेंगे, मैंने ये सोचा है कि इंडिया में अगर कोई मेरे साथ जुड़ना चाहता है इस बिजनेस में, दे आर मोस्ट वेलकम, बिकॉज उनको सिर्फ प्रोडक्ट सेल नहीं करना। प्रोडक्ट तो इंडिया में करोड़ों प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, बट व्हाट दे विल बी गेटिंग विल बी द पर्सनल एक ट्रेनिंग, a journey together where we will grow together from where we are today and from where we will be in next 2 to 5 years.
Great. And yes, Rima, whatever you have said, I was reading a couple of replies from the audience. Many of them have said that they too wanted to start their entrepreneurial journey. तो कहीं ना कहीं वो आपसे कनेक्ट कर पा रहे हैं, बिकॉज हमारे यहाँ एजुकेशन सिस्टम अगर आप देखें और जो फैमिली स्ट्रक्चर आप देखो, तो आप ऐसे देखोगे कि लोगों का है कि नहीं, दे जस्ट वांट टू बी अ जॉब सीकर, दे डोंट वांट टू बी अ जॉब क्रिएटर। तो ये सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है कि उनका जो बचपन है वो ऐसे ही बीतता है कि भाई मिस्टर वर्मा के बेटे ने तो भाई नीट क्रैक कर लिया, यूपीएससी क्रैक कर लिया, तो तुम क्यों नहीं। तो वो जो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का जो एक होता है ना, एक दिल में जो स्पिरिट होता है, वो बच्चों का या लर्नर्स का निकल के सामने नहीं आ पाता है। बट उसके लिए मुझे लगता है पैशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज जहां तक मैं आपकी लाइफ जर्नी को देखती हूँ, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आपने बहुत ज्यादा एकम्प्लिशमेंट्स हासिल करी है इस फील्ड में, बीइंग एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, बीइंग एन कॉर्पोरेट एक्सपर्ट। तो मैं चाहूंगी कि कॉर्पोरेट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, बिकॉज यहाँ पे जो स्टूडेंट जो इंग्लिश सीखते हैं, उनका एक कहीं ना कहीं ये पर्सपेक्टिव रहता है कि दे वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड वांट टू बी फ्लेक्सिबल विद द कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर। तो उसके लिए आप पर्सनली क्या टिप्स शेयर करना चाहेंगे कि मतलब अदर देन कम्युनिकेशन, बिकॉज उसके अलावा भी बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं। तो सक्सेस के लिए आप, because I see you as a successful entrepreneur, as a successful business lady, और as a successful corporate expert, तो आप वो कुछ ऐसे टिप्स क्या शेयर करेंगे जिससे हमारे लर्नर्स उसको अडॉप्ट करके अपने लाइफ में आगे बढ़े, प्रोग्रेस करें।
देखिए, हर किसी के पास आई वुड से दो तरीके के सिचुएशन सामने आते हैं। एक तो ये कि पेरेंट्स बहुत हेल्पफुल हैं, बहुत नॉलेजेबल हैं और उनके पास पैसा भी है. दे विल सेंड यू टू द बेस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी, दे विल गेट यू द फुल एजुकेशन दैट यू वांट एंड you ended up with a good job, right? But there are many people, I would say, like myself, जिनके मे भी पेरेंट्स इतने एजुकेटेड नहीं थे एंड मुझे नहीं पता था कि मुझे क्या करना है लाइफ में. स्टिल आई एंडेड अप विद कॉर्पोरेट जॉब. अगर मैं कॉर्पोरेट जॉब की मैं बात करूं जो मैं इंडिया में कर रही थी, आई वाज हेडिंग द कंट्री. आई शिफ्टेड विद माय फैमिली फ्रॉम लंदन टू इंडिया. मेरे हस्बैंड लॉयर हैं, वो अपना बिजनेस यहाँ चला रहे थे और मैंने उनका वो बिजनेस बंद करवा के आई सेड यू हैव टू कम विद मी एंड द लाइफ ऑफ इंडिया. ही इज अ ब्रिटिश, वो यहाँ के बॉर्न ब्रॉट अप है. तो मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस देखते हुए व्हाई डिड दे कम फॉर अ लाइफस्टाइल. दे सेड कि मैं रीमा 20 ईयर्स से मैं अपना लॉ प्रोफेशन चला रहा हूँ. आई वांट टू रिलैक्स नाउ. यू परस्यू योर ड्रीम एंड आई विल बी विद माय सन. मेरा बेटा ब्रिटिश स्कूल में जाता था दिल्ली में. So the job I had was कि everything was paid. My house, my son's fees in British school, I was like a queen. मतलब मेरा travel करना, मैं जहाँ पहुँचती थी, वहाँ पर मेरा होटल, मैं वेजिटेरियन हूँ, मुझे कौन से रेस्टोरेंट में खाना खाना चाहिए, everything was set. That was my dream job, as I said, over there. मेरा बैकग्राउंड प्रोफेशनल नहीं है, मैं फिर भी वहां तक पहुंच गई. So this is what
Incredible.
that is the passion. Because जब से मैंने बैंक में काम किया था, I decided I do not want to work for somebody else. मेरी जब यहाँ पे बैंक में जॉब लगी थी, even then, because मेरे पेरेंट्स, मैं एक पंजाब में एक छोटा सा शहर है बंगा, if you Google it, मैं वहां पैदा हुई थी. मैंने स्टडी जरूर दिल्ली में की है, बट जब मेरी बैंक में जॉब लगी थी तो माय पेरेंट्स एंड माय रिलेटिव्स इन इंडिया वुड लाइक, मेरी बेटी लंदन में बैंक में काम करती है, यू कैन इमेजिन, सो दैट वाज द बेस्ट ब्रेक थ्रू इन द जॉब आई गॉट. But then I was not happy with that. Sometimes success is not the money or status. Success for me is your satisfaction. So, मेरे husband lawyer हैं, मैं बैंक में काम कर रही हूँ. Financially, we were very good. Still, I was not happy. I was successful, but I was not happy. Now I'm happy and I'm successful because I'm doing what I want to do. So, वहां से मेरा जो माइंडसेट जो मेरा शुरू हुआ, अब मुझे कुछ भी मिलता है, the skills that you were talking, flexibility, leadership, life skills that you were talking, I will really pressurize on those skills. How flexible are you? बहुत सारी लेडीज इंडिया से जो यहाँ पर आई, उन्होंने डॉक्टरेट कर रखी है, उन्होंने टीचिंग का कर रखी है, लेकिन यहाँ पे घर पे आके खाना ही बना रही है वो. So
that is pathetic.
Yeah. How good you are working with people. Can you lead or you are a follower? Job seekers are generally followers because उनको टेंशन नहीं चाहिए. सैलरी आ रही है महीने की, टेंशन नहीं है, बिल्स पे हो रहे हैं, लाइफ मजे की है, हम साल में छुट्टी पे चले गए. That's it. That is not a lead. Initiative. Are you okay to take initiative? मैंने संगिनी का जब शुरू किया था, मुझे नहीं पता था वो कहाँ तक पहुंचेगा, but I started it off. मैंने अपना बिजनेस शुरू किया अरविंदा, मुझे नहीं पता वो कहां तक पहुंचेगा. आई स्टार्टेड इट ऑफ एंड आई वांट टू मेक इट हैपन. तो मुझे चीजें करने के बाद, मतलब मैं डिसीजन ले लेती हूँ और फिर क्योंकि वो मैंने डिसीजन लिया है और वो सही होना चाहिए, देन आई मेक इट हैपन. आई डोंट टेक राइट डिसीजन, आई मेक माय डिसीजंस राइट. सो दीज स्किल्स, सोशल स्किल्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर टाइम है तो मैं 2 मिनट सोशल स्किल के ऊपर कुछ मुझे बता देना जब ऑफ करना, बिकॉज आई कैन टॉक फॉर आवर्स ऑब्वियसली, सो सोशल स्किल
and we are dying to listen to you. We are dying to listen to you.
सोशल स्किल्स मैं इसलिए बताना चाहती हूँ कि जब मैं इंडिया से यूके में आई थी तो आई वाज इन अ न्यू कंट्री. इंग्लिश मेरी लैंग्वेज नहीं थी. मुझे लंदन में कोई भी नहीं जानता था, नॉट इवन वन फ्रेंड और वन रिलेटिव. ऑब्वियसली इन लॉस के साथ में यहाँ पर थी. मेरे हस्बैंड यहाँ के बॉर्न एंड बॉट अप थे, बहुत एजुकेटेड थे. ही इज अ लॉयर, ही रन्स हिज ओन प्रैक्टिस. जब मेरी शादी हुई एंड ही यूज्ड टू टेक मी टू द पार्टीज, जहाँ पर सारे जजेस और लॉयर्स ऐसे वाले लोग हैं. मैं जाती थी पार्टी में, मैं एक कोने में बैठ जाती थी एंड आई यूज्ड टू जस्ट वॉच एवरीबॉडी एंड दैट्स इट. घर पे आके मेरे हस्बैंड मेरे से इतना लड़ते थे because it was arranged marriage and he used to, you are not socializing. Rima, you just go there and sit there and do nothing. I introduce you to people, you have to talk. And I was like, what should I talk? वो lawyers हैं, वो judges हैं, मेरा वो field ही नहीं है, मैं क्या बात करूं उनसे. And then slowly he taught. मैंने कहा वो मेरा फील्ड नहीं है, but otherwise I'm very outgoing, so it took us a year to understand each other. तो मैं इसलिए ये बता रही हूँ. Then he taught me the social skills, how to take small steps. अगर कुछ लाइफ में करना है तो बदलना पड़ेगा. तो ही यूज्ड टू से टू मी, रीमा, इंग्लैंड में रहना है तुम्हें तो तुम्हें इंडिपेंडेंट होना पड़ेगा. यू हैव टू. वो मेरे माइंड में बात स्टक कर गई. देन ही टोल्ड मी स्मॉल लिटिल थिंग्स. सो ही सेड just go and say hello and then say how's the weather, or just ask what do you do. then फिर वो बताएंगे कि वो ये करते हैं, फिर तुम उन्हें अपना बताओ कि मैं क्या करती हूँ. so he told me these small lines, how to connect to people. तुम वेदर के बारे में बात कर सकती हो, तुम इसके बारे में बात कर सकती हो. so he said just make an effort, initiative, just take an initiative to talk. तो ही taught me how to. हम लिटरली, मतलब जो मैं उसमें बता रही हूँ, we literally used to do a play role at home. कि रीमा हम पार्टी में है, you take a glass of coke or whatever you want to drink and talk and ask questions. तो अगर आपकी कोई भी स्किल आपको लगता है that you want to learn, as Daniel said, practice it. आपको improve करना है कहीं जाने के लिए, practice it, take an initiative and just make it happen.
Great. Now he has told you to be independent, and now you are making other women of the community independent.
Yeah.
Incredible effort, Rima, I must say. And see, it has always been a dichotomy that a woman who is a working professional cannot be a good homemaker, and a homemaker is a pushover. That is something that the stereotypes of our country and our community. But I believe that it is the mindset which allow us that yes, I can do both of the things, and that is quite right. If I see your case, Rima, and yes, there is a couple of appreciation for you, like Rima ma'am, I want to be like you, and then Sonali says that Rima ma'am, in general it's tough to take first step for starting the business. So I would like to ask that what kind of planning we should have for starting any kind of business. तो बिजनेस के लिए कुछ आइडियाज आप शेयर करें, बिकॉज देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन. वो चाह रही है कि आप बिजनेस के लिए क्या आइडियाज हो सकते हैं स्टार्टअप के लिए, एक कोई नया इनिशिएटिव. सबसे पहला जरूरी चीज क्या है? व्हाट इज द मोस्ट एसेंशियल एस्पेक्ट फॉर स्टार्टिंग ऑफ अ बिजनेस? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन दैट शी आस्क्ड.
I would say market research. आपको सबसे पहले ये पता होना चाहिए कि आप किस बिजनेस में जाना चाहते हैं. जब मैंने शुरू किया था, एज सेड कि मेरा जो पॉइंट था, मैंने ये नोटिस किया क्योंकि मैं आई एम अ डायरेक्टर ऑफ ड्रॉइंग 13 व्हिच इज इन ट्रैवल ऐप. अब उसमें क्या हो रहा है कि ट्रैवल में इट्स डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सिचुएशन. वो बिजनेस मेरे हाथ में नहीं है क्योंकि पैंडेमिक हो गया, फ्लाइट्स बंद हो गई, हमारा बिजनेस गोइंग डाउन. जो ड्राइव 13 का बिजनेस है उसकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी एंड सक्सेस मेरी हाथ में नहीं है. दैट डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सिचुएशन. आई लर्नड दैट फ्रॉम देयर. सो आई वांटेड टू डू समथिंग कि जो मेरा पैंडेमिक प्रूफ बिजनेस हो, कि ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ जरा सा हुआ मेरा बिजनेस नीचे हो गया. सो आई रियली थॉट कि मैं क्या करना चाहती हूँ. मेरे पास संगीनी में इंडिया में बहुत सारे मैन्युफैक्चरर्स हैं जो मुझे बेस्ट ज्वेलरी, बेस्ट कॉस्मेटिक्स, बेस्ट कपड़े भेजने को तैयार थे. बट देन आई थॉट कि नहीं, अगर इस सिचुएशन में आज की डेट में कोई अच्छे बैग को मना कर देगा, कोई अच्छी ड्रेस को मना कर देगा, पर कोई हेल्थ प्रोडक्ट को मना नहीं करेगा इफ ही नहीं करेगा. तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मैंने सोचकर मैंने मार्केट रिसर्च की फिर यहाँ पर लंदन में कि व्हाट इज द नीड. अगर मैं हेल्थ सेक्टर में जाना चाहूँ तो मैं क्या करना चाहती हूँ. सो मेरी नॉलेज, फिर वहां पर मेरा पैशन आगे आया. ऑब्वियसली मैं फार्मासिस्ट तो हूं नहीं कि मैं सोचूं कि मैं मेडिकल स्टोर खोल लूं. तो मेरी सिचुएशन में मेरी नॉलेज के हिसाब से मैं किस बिजनेस को यहाँ सक्सेसफुल बना सकती थी. देन आई थॉट आई एम इंडियन, आयुर्वेदा योगा का यहाँ बहुत क्रेज है. Then I started looking something in that. I could have gone into natural and homemade products as well, which I will go because that matches with the Ayurveda, dheere dheere. But then the very important thing to be an entrepreneur is thinking what you can make successful. That is very important. एक टॉपिक चूज करके do the market research कि आप उसको कैसे, आपकी टारगेट ऑडियंस कहाँ है, आपके पास इन्वेस्टमेंट कितना है, क्या आप मार्केटिंग उतनी कर सकते हो. 6 मंथ का प्लान बनाइए कि अगर मैं इतनी मनी इन्वेस्ट, मतलब आई मेड अ होल बिजनेस प्लान फॉर अ ईयर एंड आई एग्जैक्टली नो हाउ मच मनी आई एम पुटिंग इन एंड आई एग्जैक्टली मेड माय मंथली प्लान कि मुझे इस मंथ में इतना करना है, इस मंथ में इतना करना है. 6th मंथ में आई विल बी अर्निंग दैट मच प्रॉफिट. और अगर प्लान अकॉर्डिंगली काम नहीं करता है तो आपके पास बैकअप प्लान क्या है. So these are the few things you really keep in mind when you are thinking as an entrepreneur. कि सबसे पहले तो करना क्या है. Second thing, market research. Third thing, investment and planning at least for good to 6 months to 1 year. How you can make it successful. So मुझे exactly आप बता दी मेरी target audience क्या है. Asians हैं सबसे पहले. उन तक मैं कैसे पहुंच सकती हूँ. यहाँ पर रेडियो है, चैनल है जो बहुत फेमस है. यहाँ पर टीवी है, यहाँ पर टीवी मार्केटिंग सस्ती है बिकॉज यहाँ पर बहुत क्लोज कम्युनिटी है एशियंस की, तो मैं जल्दी उन तक पहुंच सकती हूँ. इंडिया इज वेरी बिग मार्केट. सो ये चीजें आपको ध्यान में रखनी पड़ेगी टू बी एन एंटरप्रेन्योर एंड सी what's your passion. Passion is the most important thing. How can you talk about your product without passion? I mean, people follow you with your passion. So yeah, with that.
Great. So I just believe that it had been a very difficult journey, and I must say it had been an odyssey for you, Rima, because you are a woman, and I too can feel relatable with the context because you are a wife, you are a mother, you are a boss lady, you are an empowered woman, and yes, you have made that accomplishment. So first thing, I think it had been dreaming. So you must have dream, and as you talked about the passion, so yes, passion indeed is a great factor for achieving and having our dream come true. So great to connect with you. And now I just want to ask something more, something relevant, because मेरा जो target था इस webinar का वो सबसे पहला ये था कि they should know the 21st century skills, and along with that they could hear some practical ideas from those corporate experts who are working since a long time and have survived and thrived in that connected world globally. So you are an epitome for that. And we have our target audience. Most of them are the youngsters. So they are listening to you. They are getting inspired to you. They are saying that, thanks a lot, ma'am. It's really informative. Then we would have a really informative, ma'am. So great. Thank you, Rima, ma'am, for inspiring us. Okay, so if you, I just want to ask something more about your Sangini. That what enabled you to lay the foundation of Sangini Club for the women, so that they could come together, they could feel connected, they could sell their products. So without investing any money, they can sell off their products. So what led you to lay the foundation for Sangini Club?
So
So can
basically,
you
what
throw light on
when I was in UK and I was working with Lyconet, Daniel and I worked together in Lyconet, and जब मैं वहाँ काम कर रही थी, they were launching in India because they are in more than 50 countries. 6 years back, they were launching in India and they were talking about कि India में Lyconet कैसे develop होगा. Then out of few Indians over here who were taking this business, they chose me to be a corporate trainer and they wanted me to send to India. जब उन्होंने डिसाइड किया तो जो हमारी टॉप ऑस्ट्रिया की कंपनी है, जो टॉप मैनेजमेंट ने, उनमें से एक है मिस्टर हर्बर्ट टाइजल. उन्होंने मुझसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछा कि रीमा, यू आर अ वुमन, वी हैव सिलेक्टेड यू टू बी अ कॉर्पोरेट ट्रेनर, बट डू यू रियली थिंक दैट इंडिया इज अ मेल डोमिनेटिंग कंट्री? Do you really think the men will listen to you? That's the question he asked. उनको तो मैंने जो आंसर दिया वो दिया कि yes, of course. I mean, ऐसा नहीं आपको लगता है it's male dominating country, so women are working in India on a very big level as well. और जब मैं इंडिया पहुंची तो ये क्वेश्चन कहीं ना कहीं मेरे माइंड में था, क्योंकि इंडिया में मुझे इंडिया से आए हुए अब 18 years हो गए. मैंने कभी इंडिया में काम नहीं किया, तो आई वाज थिंकिंग कि मैंने उनको बोल तो दिया है, but will I be really, making it happen? And apparently when I went to India, Preeti, you will not believe कि मेरी ट्रेनिंग में अगर 500 लोग बैठे हैं तो उसमें से 480 men ही थे, 20
Oh,
were women. मैं बैंगलोर,
incredible.
मैं लखनऊ गई ट्रेनिंग में, पूरा इंडिया मैंने घूमा ट्रेनिंग के लिए, हर जगह रेशियो हमेशा 95% men and only 5% women. अब ये तो उल्टा काम हो गया कि मैंने तो सोचा था मैन नहीं सुनेंगे, मे बी बिकॉज आई वाज फ्रॉम लंदन, आई हैड माय ओन स्टाइल एंड आई हैड एन अथॉरिटी, सो मैन वर लिसनिंग टू मी. वहां पर क्वेश्चन जो इंडिया के जो मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर थे, फिर उनके साथ मेरा डिस्कशन हुआ कि यार वुमेन आगे क्यों नहीं आ रही है बिजनेस में, because my business was I was talking to a lot of स्मॉल मीडियम बिजनेसेस. मेरा काम था बिजनेस ओनर से बात करना और उन्हें ऑनबोर्ड लेकर आना. एंड आई थॉट कि वुमेन आगे क्यों नहीं आ रही है इस काम में. तो मुझे उन्होंने ये सजेस्ट किया कि रीमा, दिस इज इंडिया, probably women need extra support to be able to come out. He goes, why don't you create a women group where you are only addressing women? Maybe उनको बाहर घर से उनके हम टाइम सेट करते थे ट्रेनिंग का अपने अकॉर्डिंग, लेकिन वुमेन को उस वक्त घर पे खाना बनाना है, तो क्यों ना मैं उनसे कनेक्ट करूं और जब उनकी इन द बिगिनिंग उनकी अवेलेबिलिटी हो मैं तब उनको इंस्पायर करूं करने के लिए. तो उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए आई स्टार्टेड संगीत कि ठीक है, विल स्टार्ट एज कि मैं वुमेन को मैं अप्रिशिएट करूंगी. तो वो लाइकोनेट में तो हमने जितना किया किया, फिर मैंने लाइकोनेट से बोला अब संगिनी अब मुझे दे दो. फिर वहां से ये शुरू हुआ कि नाउ संगिनी इज नॉट ओनली रिलेटेड टू लाइकोनेट. एनी वुमेन who wants to do anything, you want to get inspired, you want to share your story, you want to sell your products, you want to be a businesswoman sitting at home, come together, we will help you and we will support you. So मैंने फेसबुक ग्रुप बनाया, एक फेसबुक पेज बनाया, एंड इन पैंडेमिक टेक्नोलॉजी हेल्प. हमने घर बैठे हमारी सारी लेडीज ने ऑनलाइन सेलिंग, कुछ लेडीज ऐसी थी जो कभी उन्हें पता भी नहीं था फेसबुक के ऊपर लाइव जाते कैसे हैं, सिर्फ पिक्चर पोस्ट कर दी, दैट्स इट. वी ट्रेन्ड देम कि आप आओ हमारे पेज पर अपने सेल करो प्रोडक्ट, हम आपको बताते हैं कि प्रोडक्ट कैसे सेल करते हैं, कैसे शो करते हैं. फिर मैं उनके क्रिएटिव्स बना के आई हेल्प देम इन मार्केटिंग. आप व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स मैंने बना रखे हैं जहां पर दे कैन सेल देयर प्रोडक्ट. सो दिस इज हाउ वी स्टार्टेड. फिर एक के साथ एक सब जुड़ते गए. तो अभी भी लेडीज हम 2200 तकरीबन हैं अभी फेसबुक ग्रुप पे. But I really want to make it big, so please do join if you are a female, then join the group and we take part in it. पर ऋग्वेदा जो मैंने आयुर्वेदा जो मैंने शुरू किया है मेरा बिजनेस, that will be personally working with me under Sangini program. So products will be obviously mine, my branded product, but training and everything will be set up by me. You will be personally working with me on the sales and the training we will be getting on sales and marketing and everything. So yeah,
It is my strong, yeah, Rima. It is my strong desire that the learners of English Academia community should get involved in some kind of startups. They could earn while learning. So I would have a couple of those students, and I want them to get exposure. I want them to take benefit of those exposures. So I will be connecting with you for the same, because if they are learning this global language, so they need to understand that how to be confident and independent also. तो आपने जो भी अपना वेंचर स्टार्ट किया है उसके लिए अगर कोई करियर अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं हमारे लर्नर्स के लिए, इंग्लिश एकेडमी कम्युनिटीज के लर्नर के लिए, बिकॉज आई हैव यंग गर्ल्स एज वेल, यंग बॉयज एज वेल, जो कि अपने दम पे एक अच्छे एक सही एज के साथ कुछ करना चाहते हैं लाइफ में. दे डोंट वांट टू वेट, दे डोंट वांट टू get back, they don't want to just be the career seeker, the job seeker. So वैसे लोगों का क्या आपके रिवेदा में क्या कोई चांसेस है, क्या कोई ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटीज है so that they could get trained and then they could start earning?
Yeah, I mean definitely. एक मैसेज मैं डेफिनेटली सबको देना चाहूंगी कि कुछ बड़ा करने से पहले छोटा जरूर करो. क्योंकि मैंने 7 साल बैंक में काम किया था, तब मेरे मन में ये पैशन आया कि मैंने जॉब नहीं करनी है, आई वांट टू डू समथिंग डिफरेंट. पर मैंने जॉब में सीखा बहुत, टाइम मैनेजमेंट, हाउ टू बी डिसिप्लिन, किसकी बात सुननी कैसे है, वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है.
Yeah,
तो
good list.
कि अगर आप बड़ी जॉब, कॉर्पोरेट जॉब ढूंढ भी रहे हो, अगर आपको छोटी भी जॉब मिलती है, जस्ट डू इट. बिकॉज आपको जो एक्सपोजर मिलता है और जो एक्सपीरियंस मिलता है वो आपको जरूर चाहिए अगर आपने कुछ बड़ा भी करना है तो. सो विद मी व्हाट आई वुड से इज कि वो एक्सपोजर और वो आपको एक्सपीरियंस वो आपको मेरे साथ काम करने से मिल सकता है. Because it will be about selling, it will be about marketing. So we can talk about how to handle the Facebook, because मैं already am spending money on marketing. So मेरा पेज ऑलरेडी है, तो आप वो क्रिएटिव कैसे बन रहे हैं, या अगर आपको टेस्टिमोनियल्स देने हैं, यू वांट टू गेन द कॉन्फिडेंस, सो वी कैन क्रिएट मेनी ट्रेनिंग सेशंस ऑन बीइंग एन एंटरप्रेन्योर. जैसे मैंने बोला मेरा बिजनेस प्लान है, आई कैन शेयर विद एवरीवन हाउ टू सेट अप अ बिजनेस प्लान. सो वी कैन डू मेनी थिंग्स इन दैट, सो यू विल लर्न अ लॉट. तो अगर आपको उस वे में जाना है, yes, we can talk, we can plan the presentations and we can plan the trainings, once a week, how to come on Zoom, and the benefit will be the commission of setting up the business and selling the product. So yes, I do have. We'll set a commission plan where they can earn as well and they can learn as well. And you never know, after working with me for a year or two, you may choose to just start your own venture because you've got that experience.
Yes, now I would love to hear the responses and replies. Sanjana is saying it's motivated. And then, ma'am, you make us feel proud. Ma'am, can we be members of your WhatsApp group? Ma'am, I want to work with you, ma'am. Really, ma'am, I'm only a 16-year-old. May I work with you? So they are loving it. They are really enjoying it because Rima, it's very practical because you are sharing your own experiences, and that is the real purpose. Because I have called you here, no, because of pandemic I could not be able to call you in person, but yes, hopefully we are going to call you to interact with them very soon, so that they could feel more connected, a bit better connected to you. एंड जब आप आओगे यहाँ लोगों से मिलोगे आप देखोगे बिहार में भी टैलेंट की कमी नहीं है, वहाँ लोग बहुत टैलेंटेड है, ओनली दे आर लैकिंग जस्ट फॉर द एक्सपोजर। तो इंग्लिश अकेडमी कम्युनिटी का ये हमारी एक कोशिश होती है कि हम लोग मैक्सिमम एक्सपोजर जो है सुनने का, इंटरेक्ट करने का, सीखने का, मोटिवेट होने का हम हमारे लर्नर्स को देते हैं। अब मेरा एक पर्सनल क्वेश्चन है, आई होप कि जितनी भी गर्ल्स मेरे साथ यहाँ होंगी जरूर उनका ये क्वेश्चन होगा। So, since you are stunning, you are a diva, and you are a personality trainer as well. So, I want to ask you one thing. That is my intense desire to take tips from you, Rima. So that how you have managed such an identity and you have a pleasing personality. So, can you give us some personality traits, some of the tips for a dynamic personality like you?
थैंक यू प्रीति। एक्चुअली वो कहते हैं ना कि खूबसूरती देखने वाले की नजरों में होती है, तो फिर डेफिनेटली इट्स यू, नॉट इट्स नॉट मी। बट वन थिंग आई वुड से, मैं किसी चीज को ट्राई करने के लिए मैं डरती नहीं हूँ। एज अ शेयर्ड कि जब मुझे यहाँ लंदन में जॉब, इंडिया में मैंने फैशन डिजाइनिंग की थी। जब मैं लंदन में आई तो मैं फैशन डिजाइनिंग की जॉब ढूंढ रही थी। अब यहाँ पर ना तो रिसोर्सेज हैं, ना यहाँ पे टेक्सटाइल्स हैं, ना यहाँ पे मटेरियल है, तो यहाँ फैशन डिजाइनिंग का तो कोई स्कोप नहीं था। एंड माय हस्बैंड इज अ लॉयर एंड ही वाज लाइक, रीमा देख, तू मेरे को पागल लगती है, तेरे जैसे पागल बाहर बहुत मिल जाएंगे, तो जाके ढूंढ ले। मतलब ही वाज लाइक कि इंग्लैंड में रहना है तो यू हैव टू बी इंडिपेंडेंट। तो मैंने जो मुझे लगा कि मेरे लिए सबसे ज्यादा पहले क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है, बीइंग एन इंडिपेंडेंट, नॉट बीइंग अ फैशन डिजाइनर। सो यू विल नॉट बिलीव, मैंने यहाँ की जो हमारी लोकल हाई स्ट्रीट थी, मैंने अपना सीवी बनाया और मैं एक एक शॉप पर गई अपना सीवी देने के लिए। आज जो मुझे आप देख रहे हो, 18 साल पहले मैंने जहां से शुरू किया था, इट वॉज कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट। सो ये मेरे यूथ को, आज की यूथ को ये डेफिनेटली एक ये है, कोई काम छोटा बड़ा नहीं है, as long as you want to make it happen, you know you are right. So कोई आज मुझे बोले कि तू एक एक शॉप पे जाके सीवी दे के आ, तो दिमाग खराब है क्या? But I did it at that time because I was new. This country was very new for me and I needed an exposure. So मुझे ये डर नहीं था कि कोई मुझे क्या बोलेगा. I just went out. I handed over my CV to each and every shop, वो इंडियन हो या कुछ भी हो। तो मुझे पहली जॉब 3 घंटे की मिली, वो भी टेंट, जो बड़े बड़े टेंट नहीं होते यहाँ पे लोग स्पोर्ट्स के लिए जाते हैं, उस वाली शॉप में मिली। और मुझे ट्रेनर और वो पहनकर वो टेंट खींचने होते थे, और मैंने फैशन डिजाइनिंग की थी। तो I didn't say no, even if it was for 3 hours. I wanted an exposure, I wanted an experience, I did it. Now, that story is part of my journey and my life story. So, as I said, किसी चीज से डरो नहीं, just do it for the sake of exposure. आप कुछ भी करते हो लाइफ में, आप कुछ सीखते ही हो, कुछ भी छोटा बड़ा नहीं होता है, आप कुछ सीखते ही हो। So this is the only tip, I would say, that I never say no to anything because it's part of my learning skills, and पूरे लाइफ टाइम पे अगर हम कुछ सीखते हैं तो वो बुरा नहीं होता। एंड सेकेंड थिंग, स्पीक फ्रॉम योर हार्ट, दैट्स इट। अगर आप दिल से किसी से कनेक्ट करते हो तो मुझ में लोग हमेशा पैशन देखते हैं। मैं इंडिया में जब मैं ट्रेनिंग्स करती थी, पीपल यूज्ड टू जस्ट लव माय पैशन। तो अगर मैं कुछ करती हूँ तो मैं पैशनेटली करती हूँ, और नहीं तो फिर मैं इंजॉय करती हूँ। सो दैट्स इट। नहीं करती कि जो मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए। बैंक में भी इतनी बोरिंग जॉब होती थी, एंड आई वाज द एशियन वन, और हमारे में इंटरकॉम होता था, तो मैं उसको भी एज अ फन में ले लेती थी। मुझे लोग फ्रेशी बोलते थे कि आई एम अ फ्रेशी, राइट, कमिंग फ्रॉम इंडिया काइंड ऑफ थिंग। मैं कोई फिल्म देखती थी तो मेरे वो गाने चलते रहते थे माइंड में, क्योंकि बैंक में जॉब बहुत बोरिंग थी. So whatever you do, just do it passionately and just show your passion. That's it. It's just your heart.
Yeah, really, the practical tips that you have shared with our learners, indeed, very practical. So that we will not need to find out in the books. We are here, Our Lady, to inspire with words. So great. And मतलब whenever I see something, the example from your life, एक चीज है ना कि एक बहुत लोगों ने थ्री इडियट्स मूवी देखी होगी. तो उस मूवी में क्या था? One professor asked Amir Khan that what is machine? So in
Yeah.
reply, he says that anything that reduces human effort is called machine. And then the reply that the professor received from Chatur, he got in the entire appreciation. So उसने भी simplified language में वही चीजें बताई, but that was very practical. जो
Yeah.
अच्छे से लोगों को समझ पाए, कनेक्ट हो पाए. द सेम थिंग हैपेंड हियर आल्सो, बिकॉज
Yeah.
यहाँ पे जितनी चीजें रीमा आप बता रहे हो, इट्स रियली वेरी प्रैक्टिकल. और मैं काफी रिलेट करती हूँ आपके स्टोरी से, आपके लाइफ से. और मुझे लगता है हर एक लोगों को, हर एक इंडिविजुअल जो यहाँ सुन रहे हैं, उन्होंने बहुत कुछ सीखा होगा और आज फुल ऑफ एनर्जी होंगे. नाउ कैन आई हैव फ्यू रिप्लाईज फ्रॉम योर साइड गाइज, दैट दोज हु आर लिसनिंग टू हर. You are inspirational women for us, ma'am. Ma'am, you are
Thank
really
you.
great. Wow, ma'am, your journey is really inspiring. We will keep your words in our mind, ma'am. Ma'am, you are really great. Faiza, we are totally inspired, ma'am. Thank you so much. So
Thank
really, they are so much thankful for you, Rima, and I know that the time is different. It differs from the Indian time. So, and you have managed your tight schedule for us. So really, so much thankful of you. And then I will never stop talking to you, but it's just because of time. I'm looking forward. So thank you so much, Rima, for being with us. And yes, it was a wonderful session. And again, I hope to meeting you in person very soon. So thank you so much. Even I feel very much inspired by your tips, and I'm really gonna apply it for sure.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, Preeti, for inviting me here. Thank you.
Thank you. We are so glad. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Bye
viewers.
bye.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.